Now we're continuing our series through the Jesus Is campaign that we've been doing across all of the Ulverstone combined churches. It's been really good, and some of you came yesterday to the event that we had running in the Apex place next to McCarthy's. It was a great turnout. There was this wonderful puppeteer who did just a great job. His offsider was reasonably okay, I think. But it was a really wonderful time. And we're asking people the question, what would you put in the blank? What would you put in the Jesus is and that blank bit? What would you put in that blank bit? And we've been having lots of conversations. People have been having conversations with each other. People have been having conversations with their friends and colleagues and other people all over the place, asking this question, Jesus is fill in the blank. What would you put in there? Over the last few days, I've had a couple of conversations with people, and these are some of the responses that I've had. Jesus is love. Jesus is my friend. One guy said, someone not worth knowing. It was an interesting conversation, let me tell you. Somebody else said, he's a good guy. So there's all sorts of different conversations that are going on. And what I'd like to challenge you to do today, while we're having our lunch, maybe ask somebody or give them your thoughts on what you would put in that little bit, in the blank. Jesus is, what would you say Jesus is? Now, Tasmania is a wonderful place, is it not? It is great. Lyndon and I, first time we ever stepped foot in Tasmania was in November 2020. We came down to do some interviews, and then on the 1st of February 2021, we'd moved down with our kids and our stuff, and we were started our new life here in Tassie. And let me tell you, it's been wonderful. It's been so good. Tasmania is a great place, and it invites lots of different kinds of things, doesn't it? It invites in exploration of so many different things, whether it might be a hidden bushwalk, it might be a new cafe, it might be a fresh approach to life and living, away from the crazy rat race of the mainland, or as I like to say, the North Island, because Tasmania is Australia, this is just the North Island up there. Tasmania has we're all natural explorers, aren't we? We love to check things out. We chase what looks meaningful and beautiful or promising. We're curious. We're seekers. And the things that we pursue reflect a deep longing in our hearts. And today's topic, as a topic that's being preached across with all the different combined churches, is the idea that Jesus is worth checking out. Jesus is worth checking out. In a world full of options, with so many things calling for our attention, we are invited, like Nathaniel was in our John reading today, to come and see. When some of the first disciples encountered Jesus, they didn't quite know who he truly was. Someone pointed them to the direction that he was in and said, "Come and see." And their lives was never the same. So what I want to do today is to look at some of the things that our world might say are things worth checking out. We're saying Jesus is worth checking out, but let's compare Jesus to other things that the world says and see how those things come together. We're going to explore 5 different things that Tasmanians often think is worth checking out, and see how the promises, they make good promises, great promises, but unfortunately, they fail to deliver. Then we're going to see how Jesus offers something far deeper, far more lasting, And my hope is, at the end of this talk, you will be keen to think more about Jesus. Maybe explore what he has to say. Maybe look at one of his biographies. To think a little bit more about who he was when he walked on the earth. To think a little bit about what kinds of things he did. And where is he now? My hope is that you will come and see who Jesus is. So, one of the things that we get told worth checking out in Tasmania is the nature and the wilderness. It's worth checking out for the peace and the escape that it gives us. Tasmania is world-renowned for its natural beauty. People travel from all over the globe to walk our tracks, to paddle our rivers, to stand in awe of our mountains and valleys, and the produce that we have, and to view all sorts of wonderful things. The list goes on and on and on, doesn't it? And for many locals, the wilderness is more than just a landscape. It's a sanctuary. It's a place where people go into the wilderness to escape the stress, the noise, the expectations of modern life. You see, we all seek some form of peace, some form of stillness, some form of clarity. And nature sometimes gives us that, doesn't it? It works. It works for a while. See, the silence of a misty forest, the stars above a darkened lake, the crashing of the waves over the beach, all these things, all these experiences can calm our anxious minds. It offers moments of peace and joy and stillness. And it works for a while. Have you ever noticed that when you have that peace, you find that you get in nature, it doesn't last? You see, the walk that you go on, it comes to an end. You return to your town, you return to your home, you return back to the bills, you return back to the conflict, you return back to the pressures, you return back to the noise. The serenity fades and life gets noisy again. Nature is beautiful, but friends, it cannot give lasting rest for our souls. Jesus says in Matthew 11, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. My yoke is easy and my burden is light." You see, Jesus offers peace that is not tied to a location or to a circumstance. His rest reaches into our very hearts. He doesn't just offer escape from the world for a little time when we know that we will go back to our real lives. He gives us strength to live in the peace that will endure. The rest that we all want, dare I say, we all need. Number 2, success, career. Worth checking out because of purpose and identity. See, in Ulverstone, as part of in other towns across our state, people are working hard to succeed. Whether it's climbing the ladder in a trade or gaining influence in politics or launching something innovative in the arts or business, we chase success and find meaning, to find a sense of worth. See, success promises a lot: identity, self-worth, security. The moment we achieve something, a promotion or a publication or an award, we feel that we are seen. We feel that we are valuable. And what happens then is we don't, but what happens when we reach the top? When we get to that point where we've got that award or where we've got that thing that we've been searching for, we feel empty. Now, I've been wrestling about this quote because I've been looking for it for a little while. And I don't know the exact quote, but I'm going to give you what I think the gist of it is. And I believe it was said by Sylvester Stallone after he won one of his Academy Awards, right? The morning after he woke up, he had just got to the pinnacle. He's got this award that every single person has been searching for and wanting and craving, and they get up at night. In the mornings, they struggle and they do all sorts of things in order to be able to gain this one trophy that they can put on their mantelpiece. And Sylvester Stallone, he won it. He got it. The next morning, he wanted to commit suicide. Because what was there for him to get now? That was it. He's got the thing that he wanted, and he felt empty. See, we discover a number of titles, awards, and accomplishments that can tell, but they don't really tell us who we really are, because they fade. Once you've achieved them, they lose their shine, and as a result, we live in this constant fear of failure or being forgotten. Some of the most outwardly successful people are inwardly the most anxious and lost, because they are always chasing that next moment of success or reward. Jesus says in Mark chapter 8, verse 36, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul?" The world offers us temporary identity built on performance, but Jesus offers us a secure identity as beloved children of God. Not because of what we've done, but because of what He has done for us. He gives us purpose that isn't tied to our productivity, our rewards, our success, but our reliance on Him, connected to Him, being with Him. Number 3, relationships and romance. Worth checking out for love and belonging. See, we are created for connection. We are relational beings. From social media to the local footy club to the or soccer club, from dinner parties to dating apps, people long to be known, to be loved, to belong. And relationships are often seen as the ultimate source of that connection. Relationships are seen as the place that we get our joy and our identity. Some hope that finding that one person will solve all their loneliness problems, or that perfect friendship group that will fulfill all their emotional needs. But what is the truth? You see, no human relationship can carry the full weight of our hopes and our needs. People let us down. We let others down. We let ourselves down. Even the healthiest relationships can be marred with selfishness and miscommunication or distance. And when our relationships break down, we can feel heartbroken. But let's have a look at what Jesus offers. In John 15, verse 13, Jesus says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay one's life down for one's friend." Now, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be rejoicing and celebrating Good Friday. It's the day where we celebrate and remember the one who laid down his life for humanity. Jesus laid down his life for us. Not because we were perfect, but because he loves us. He sees us fully and still chooses us. In Jesus, we are not just tolerated, we are welcomed, we are known, we are loved. And he calls us into a new kind of family, his church, his people. A place where you can find belonging, not based on what you bring to the table, but based on his grace, his love. A place that isn't perfect, but is filled with people being remade by the love of God. Number 4, wellness and spirituality. worth checking out for healing and wholeness. Tasmania has become a bit of a hub for holistic living. People turn to yoga and mindfulness and essential oils and crystals and eco-spirituality and the New Age practices to find balance and healing. These often attempts to answer life's deeper questions that can find sense of spiritual, physical, and mental grounding. They speak of our desire to be whole, to be connected to something greater than ourselves. They often offer comfort, practices of awareness, and moments of stillness. But the reality is that these practices often put the burden back on us. We become our own healers, our own guides, our own saviors. And you know what? That is just exhausting. You see, as much as we would like to be whole and fix ourselves, the reality is that we can't fix ourselves, no matter how hard we try. And when the pain and tragedy of life hits us, these practices often can't offer the deep need of hope that we all need. Jesus says in John 10, verse 10, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." See, he doesn't offer a surface level wellness. He offers transformation from the inside out. Through his life, his death, his resurrection, he brings true healing. He addresses not just the symptoms, but the root cause of our separation from God. See, when Jesus heals, it's complete. When Jesus forgives, it's forever. And when Jesus restores, it's not temporary, it's eternal. When we seek wholeness, we cannot find it in the things of this world. We need to seek it from the one who made everything in this world. We need to seek it from the one who sustains this world and makes everything work. We need to come and see Jesus. Number 5, activism and justice. It's worth checking out for the meaning and impact that we can have on our society. Many Tasmanians care deeply about justice, whether it's environmental action, Indigenous reconciliation, mental health, or protecting the vulnerable people. We all want to make a difference. And rightly so. We are made in the image of God, and this God loves justice. We are made in the image of God, so we all have worth. But often activism becomes overwhelming, doesn't it? The world that we live in is broken, and sometimes it's too big for us to fix ourselves. And so outrage becomes the lifestyle, and division grows, and in the process, many lose hope. People burn out, and they become cynical and bitter. In Luke chapter 4, Jesus goes into a synagogue and he reads out a scroll from the prophet Isaiah, and he says this: "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind. He is to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's Saviour." He then sits down and speaks, saying, "Today, this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." See, Jesus doesn't just care about justice, he embodies it. He invites us to join a movement that isn't powered by rage, but by grace. His kingdom brings justice not just outwardly, but inwardly. He changes hearts. He breaks the power of sin and brings reconciliation. And then one day he promises to return to make all things new. See, with Jesus, we work for justice, not out of guilt or anger, but out of hope. So friends, here are the 5 things that we as Tasmanians seek, but we can see that it doesn't quite work, does it? See, we want peace and escape. We want purpose and identity. We want love and belonging. We want healing and wholeness, and we want meaning and impact. Every one of these things that Tasmanians chase They reveal something true about the human heart. We want peace. We crave purpose. We long to be loved, to be whole, to be part of something meaningful. But in every case, these things that we chase can take us far away from what we really need. They promise much, but they fail to deliver fully. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, I think the thing that we can do is we find in our reading in John. Well, when Philip comes to Nathanael and he says to him, "Come and see. Come and see Jesus. Check him out." Jesus is worth checking out. He doesn't ask us to have it all figured out before we get to him. He doesn't expect perfection. He simply invites us to explore, to take the step towards him, to see ourselves, for ourselves if he really is who he says he is. See, in John 1, when Philip finds Nathanael, he tells him about Jesus. And Nathanael is skeptical. Can anything good come from Nazareth? It's a little bit like saying, can anything good come from the mainland? No, I'm not saying that. But it's that kind of thing. There's skepticism there. But Philip, what does he do? He doesn't argue with him. He doesn't put out all the 5 points of why Jesus is really good, and he doesn't go into a Bible study and give him the 5 points of Calvinism or looks at penal substitutionary atonement or any of these other big words. He simply says, "Come and see. Come and see." And when Nathanael meets Jesus, his doubts melt away. I'm not quite sure what Nathanael was doing under the fig tree, but whatever it was enough for him to realize that Jesus is actually who he says he is. Friends, maybe today you're a skeptical person. Maybe you've just checked out a lot of things in life and you found them lacking. Maybe you're tired of chasing peace, love, purpose, healing, and coming up short. Well, friends, Jesus is worth checking out. He doesn't promise that life will be easy, but he does promise a full life. He promises rest. He promises identity. He offers love. He brings healing. He secures justice. And best of all, he invites you to walk with him now and forever. Today, hear the words, "Come and see." Come with your doubts. Come and see with your pains. Come and see with your questions. And discover the one who sees you, the one who knows you, the one who loves you, the one who calls you by name. Come and see. Come and see Jesus.